we got some news to get into. New things being trackable in the game. That's right, less need for add-ons. It's something Blizzard's trying to do. We also got statistics for the final week of runs of Mythic Plus, how the overall season looked compared to previous seasons, and China continues to get some of the coolest items in the game. Let's just jump straight in. Keeping track of your potions, trinkets, and other things will be much easier starting with 12.1, as Blizzard continues to give us more ability to basically track things, call out things, and everything else. So that's really good, and I think these are good additions to the game. Honestly, less need for add-ons, which is always good. Evo, thank you so much for the Prime sub, man. 3 months, 4 total to beat a Death Knight of our Scourge. I appreciate it. With new updates to the cooldown manager, a bunch of these things are now trackable. So we got new trackable abilities, including the ability to track trinkets. We have potions, so you can track, how long it's been since you drank one, when the next consumable is available. Tracking consumables, really important for a lot of us, so this is a good add to the game. Also, for managing all other resources, more updates are arriving in the ping system. Players are now able to ping their own action bar. We've talked about this before, directly providing their team with their spell cooldowns, their health, and their mana percentage. So, yes, the callout is now built into the game, which is a nice add here. Your own unit frames are now pingable and convey statuses such as I said before, health of group members, your own health, ensure, and healing role statuses. Also being able to show, like I said, the callout, which is good. 100% health here, 10 mana, you can see the callout. Obviously, that's a nice one for people to be able to see. Most likely your tank will ignore it, just keep tanking and moving ahead to the next pull. Keeping heals flow with new configurations. So for healers as well, some new quality of life changes coming here. Healers can now configure or hide the buffs shown on raid frames. So the healing effects that matter most to you can stay visible. So more quality of life changes coming at 12 point. There's actually a lot of them. I went over a few of them yesterday, more of them today. So it is good to see. As far as Season 1 activity rewards, we talked about this just yesterday. The fact that the Void, we got all these ritual sites, Najatal and Val, and the Void Touch caches. These are all moving forward into Season 2. This was a surprise to a lot of us. I thought all these ritual sites and everything were kind of going to die off when Season 2 started. Well, no, Blizzard's carrying them forward, but not exactly in the way you probably expected. They're not exactly going to carry the same weight and gear that they previously did. So, Frickin' Chat says, it's crazy people can't see their hot bars and trinkets / pots on them. I agree, yeah, it is crazy. And not having that available in the game previously was a requirement for add-ons to fill, but at least now that'll be filled. As far as these go, with the caches and everything else, basically Blizzard's not bringing them back at their full power. So the events will still be available, but most likely these will be for people leveling up new tunes and stuff. So let's see what's happening here. These changes increase the item level of various gear. So Blizzard is increasing the item level to bring it up to current Season 2 standards, but not the same level, as I should say. It's going to be a lower level. These will be adventure attract gear for these Void Touch caches that you get from these events. Previously, these were giving higher item level. They will give veteran track upgrades up to 295 item levels. So this is still an upgrade for a lot of people as it currently stands in Season 1 and might work for that first week. We got week 0, basically the preseason week. They might be a good thing to do then, or for anybody who's leveling up alts or anything like that. Basically, they give kind of a delve level gear. You're talking probably tiers 1 to 6 delves. For ritual sites, as I mentioned before, you'll still get field accolades. They will give veteran crests now, so that's basically the highest level crest you're going to get from ritual sites as well. Again, good for leveling. And then Najatal and Val. Like ritual sites and heroic difficulty invasions remain a good source of field accolades, but the gear and crests that you get will be reduced. Rare and elite mobs now drop adventure miss crests, while their warbound gear has been reduced to adventure track 275 item level. Likewise, Rift Stalker overflow caches award for completing the Shadow Down quest now awards adventure and veteran crest, despite the tooltip saying myth crest. It will no longer award myth crest. If it did, these would be very relevant for the next season, but as of right now, they're basically just a first week thing or filling out an alt or something like that. So yes, these events are continuing forward, which was a surprise. Void Assault's included in this, but they just won't be awarding as good of gear as they previously did. So there you go. You can't do dungeons. You can do dungeons in the first week if that's where it's at. Delves are great. First week, I would say, honestly, guys, do delves. push them up to, they're not going to be bountiful, but you can push them up to, you know, Delve level 10, get ready to start cashing in on those in the next week, and then Mythic Plus, Mythic Zeros. You can do each of them one time this first week of the preseason, which will be good to do. You can basically get ready for that first vault and everything else, but it's not going to be like something you can continually run. It's going to be one time each dungeon for that first week. Now, for housing dies, this is a surprise here. Evidently, housing dies on the auction market were breaking the servers when it came to testing the new season launch. I don't know how this happens or why this is the case, but having dies on the auction house breaks the servers as it transitions from Season 1 to Season 2. So starting August 4th, which is today, at 1 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, all housing die items will be temporarily adjusted to be warbound. This will not change how the items are created, but it will stop you from being able to put them on the auction house. It will prevent players from, as I said, posting those. Their goal is to ensure that there are no housing dies up for sale on the auction house during the deployment of Curse of Ulatek content update to alleviate an issue for upcoming die conversions. After the Curse of Ulatek content has gone live, these pigments will be changed back to their current state, and you'll be able to post them back on the auction house once again. So I'm glad Blizzard caught this issue, though. You know, typically we see the patch launch, and then they're like, oh my god, we didn't expect this, but something broke in the system because we had something sitting on the auction house that was incorrect. So there you go, they fixed this. Housing dies changing today, but don't worry, they will change back. Just hang on to them. Looking at the previous season, or this current season, I should say. It's going to be the previous season very soon, but Season 1 overall was a success. How was it looking? How are the numbers looking? Well, turns out this week, people are doing a lot more lower level keys. Probably people leveling alts, getting ready for whatever their main's going to be in the next season. Let's look overall at how Season 1 of Midnight compares to all the seasons of the War Within as a final statistic kind of roundup of all of this. So week 18 weeks of the first season here. Let's check this out. Starting with week 1, we've seen quite a bit. Without China is really the numbers you want to look at. The Chinese kind of messed shit up because they came in and out of this season. But basically, you got a very high peak here. The highest peak that we've seen, higher than any War Within season. The start was very strong. Now, we did have some different events going on this season than any other season previously. Obviously, a lot of time walking going on too, which tends to bring people in and out of the season in general. We had a single boss raid, different raid tiers releasing throughout the season rather than all at once, so that changes things up too. But overall, a pretty strong season and a strong finish. So the finish, it did finish out at the same level as Season 1 and 2 of the War Within, better than Season 3. And I'd say overall it was a pretty good season. Strong season, good time, and I think the dungeon overall makeup was pretty good. If we look at the total dungeon rate, overall, you guys know I hate Mayasara Caverns. I can't stand that fucking place anymore. I don't even try to run it. But yeah, that was the worst dungeon of the season with a total on-time completion rate of 91.56%. Still high, but the lowest time completion rate compared to all the other dungeons. Pit of Sauron finished at your top end and 94.62% of runs being completed. So overall, like I said, there's nothing crazy or nothing like the Mists of Tirana Scythe giant pillar that we saw one season back in, was it the War Within, I think? Yeah, nothing like that, but overall still a good season. Everything matches up pretty well, and a lot of completion rates on these dungeons. In terms of people running, 83.1% of all runs completed were higher than a 10 or higher, which is actually down 6 points from the previous weeks. Again, this is probably because people are completing lower level keys right now and alts and stuff, trying to get people geared out and ready for Season 2, whatever that'll be. The highest level key completed this season was a 25. 37 of those 46 runs have been timed, so 80% completion rate. Obviously, elite level people doing those runs at a plus 25. But that seems to be the final finisher of what will be the top key. Right now, in terms of top 1%, I think you're still looking at 20-plus keys across the board. Probably 22s to get into the top 1%. Top 0.1%, I'm not sure what you're going to need to get that, but it's going to take a lot. Those will be, obviously, when the cutoff happens at the end of Season 1, Blizzard will calculate those, and when you log in after the reset for Season 2 to kick off, or I should say patch 12.1 to kick off, you'll see the awards go out and the titles and the mounts and everything else. So that's how Blizzard's doing that. Overall, like I said, I think a pretty good season. It wasn't too difficult. It looks like Blizzard kind of wants to carry forward to the next season, not make it too hard. We'll see how that all works out. And now let's touch on the final piece of news here. China just getting the best shit ever. China continues to get some of the coolest items we've ever seen in WoW, and China players are receiving a ton of news today from NetEase unveiling rewards for the 21st anniversary of the release of Chinese servers. That's right. Released in 2005, the Chinese servers opened up, and now it is their 21st anniversary, and they are getting all kinds of stuff. We're talking giant throne room decor items, a Varian Rin Chinese take on the Varian Rin set, so a nice looking transmog set, item level boosts, and mounts and stuff, but that's not all. There's even more. As I said before, this is for people who have the annual sub, you know, paying over 6 months at a time. They get different variations of these. They said even if you have a mount, you end up getting another mount in its place, so tons of cool items, but there's more. There are even little red envelopes that are going to go out to all the players in the game, and those red envelopes will contain a chance to win a piece of a $6 million prize pool or an RTX 5080. That's right. They are giving out graphics cards in their version of WoW now. So you'll open up your little anniversary envelope. It'll probably be in your mailbox when you enter the game, and you'll have a shot at winning a graphics card or a piece of the multi-million-dollar prize pool. Obviously, there's a lot of people that just aren't going to win anything, but still a pretty cool little event for their anniversary. We didn't get anything like this during our anniversary. Blizzard doesn't even remember our anniversary anymore. Anyways, moving on. We got a couple mounts, also mount packages, free mounts on login, plus Winds of Wisdom for leveling up. A ton of stuff happening in terms of their event. Yes, they do get stuff just for logging in during the anniversary event, including mounts and the ability to level up quicker. There's also the Thundering Ridge Pack Elk giveaway. That's right, a badass looking purple skullified elk. Is something that people can win. You take a quiz and you share it with another person, and you will have a chance to win the elk mount. Also, some Shaw Wrap mounts. I've never seen these mounts. We don't have these mounts in the game. It's like a freaking badass Shaw Owl. Follow the official WeCom account and get a free Shaw loot box with your chance to get one of these 3 mounts. Unbelievable. That owl. I hope we get it one day in the game. Will we? Well, we're not Chinese, so probably not. Blizzard doesn't give a shit about us. But it would be nice, freaking badass-looking colorways of these mounts, and a chance to win them. And then finally, the Adventurer Guide Vault. A Golden Boy here for the Mount of Algernon, and then a Purple Phoenix mount. Some other cool mounts to choose from. Azeroth Adventure Guide and Quicksand Treasure Vault. Updated together on August 13th. You can get yourself these different mounts and stuff. I mean, just cool stuff. They're doing so much for their event. There's even more Chinese server updates for all the servers that are currently live. Obviously, the new Ulatech patch is coming to them too. Phase 5 and everything else of Titan Reforged, which is their version of kind of the catch-up on all the classic content that was released while their servers were down. So, tons of stuff coming for them. Am I jealous of the Chinese? Yes, I am. They continue to get cool-ass shit that we don't. Cool mount. Fuck the loot boxes. I know it's a different culture over there. I agree. They have a loot box culture. They're okay with purchasing loot boxes and stuff, but there's also just a lot of cosmetically really cool items that I wish they would give us on the trading post here in the US or something. That would be nice. You know, you got all these cool items that you clearly put in the game. It'd be great if we could get some of them in a different way over here. I don't see why they wouldn't. But there it is. The Chinese continue to get new items. We continue to press and get ready for Season 2, and I'll continue to bring you the news every day. But for today, that is all in terms of news.